Hello everybody, hope you're doing fantastically well. It's Connor here. We are back with your instant match reaction. Apologies for the hat. It is not a good hair day and I'm not about to go string some gel through my hair at 10 o'clock at night. We're back here with another stream, and if you've not checked out the transfer content, make sure you do so. We've had some stuff out the last couple of days. We've got Generation Leeds coming to the Patreon account tomorrow with me and my dad. We chew the fat on things going on or things that are about to hopefully start kicking on at Leeds United. But Leeds have just played Real Sociedad in a friendly, and it's 2 wins on the bounce for Leeds in terms of a friendly capacity. Us beating Elche, obviously out there in Spain, and Leeds getting the W over Real Sociedad tonight. Real Sociedad obviously 3rd in La Liga, doing extremely well in front of Atletico Madrid, in front of Villarreal so far this season, having a very productive season, obviously led by David Silva as well, who I completely forgot about, and then I realised as soon as his silky touch, he started caressing the ball, I was like, oh God, he still is very, very good at the tender age of about 36. So yeah, it was good to see Leeds get the win. A few specifics to talk on really, but I'm just going to get into your guys' comments. There's 223 of you in the building. Please make sure you're smashing the like, making sure it's weird doing football content again. Honestly, I feel really out of practice. Normally with this sort of stuff, it's like bang, bang, bang. But when I've not been doing actual, match content, it's a bit mad. It's a bit mad. So make sure you're getting your comments in. 2-1. The match is still being played. I think this is when it was live streamed. Let's have a look. None of our right backs are any good, so we may as well keep Drama. I thought Drama was really good. Yeah, when he came on, I thought he was decent. Ayling, I thought, once again, a few passes here and there. I thought critical points as well. Maybe his physicality isn't there. I've said for the past couple of years anyway, I think there's a real downgrade in his defensive capabilities. I said this on multiple streams, as you guys know. But I really like how adventurous Cody Drama is when he's going forward. But I also think he's got those defensive capabilities to be able to be a proper Premier League right back. I do fully believe that. And I think even in that second half when he was playing, I thought you saw his athleticism. He seems a little bit more confident as well. I do think that loan spell at Cardiff has done him a real solid. But we're just getting into the goals as well. In fact, let's get into the team lineup straight off the bat. Owen's just made a good point here, and I kind of wanted to touch on it really. JB has to start versus Man City. I think the thing is, Owen, I thought Forshaw was poor. I did think he was giving the ball away. Some things I would look at Adam Forshaw and say one thing I would expect him to do is, I know it's lateral when he's playing, it can be side to side and backwards, but he is quite good at retaining the ball. I'm not saying he's always going forward. A little bit of sort of an archetype to someone like Jordan Henderson. Always had the criticism of just going side to side. I think he was a little bit like that earlier on in his career. I think Forshaw is a little bit like that, safety on a little bit, if you will. However, in that central defensive midfield position, unfortunately, Leeds don't have another profile to be able to replicate what Tyler Adams does. So we've got a predicament now going into the Manchester City game where you have to get someone who can replicate his style of play a little bit, and a breaker up of play, which Forshaw probably is, someone who distributes the ball very similarly to what someone like Tyler Adams does, and just a profile that suits Adams a little bit more is Adam Forshaw. I'm not sure Darko JB wants to be playing in that role. I think he wants to be playing a little bit more advanced, maybe in sort of like an advanced 6, not an 8, but an advanced 6, and I think that specific Tyler Adams role is very unique, and I think Forshaw fits the mould a little bit better. That's not me saying that's good, everybody. Trust me, that's not me saying that's a good thing. That is me saying that's a necessity at the minute because of how light we are. Rob, I thought both excellent, especially Drame. Yeah, let me have a look. Evening, Connor. Hiya, mate. Hope you're good. Sujal says, hello, Connor. Sorry I haven't been able to jump on your channel for a while. I hear it was a good performance. It was, mate. Yeah, it was half decent. I thought there was a lot of real similar aspects to what we normally see in terms of Leeds turning the ball over, and the possession was a little bit ropey, I thought. However, the counter-attacks were half decent. I just think maybe in possession, Leeds are still a little bit lacklustre, and it still seems, I don't know if you guys, when you're watching Leeds, and nothing was going to massively change in 5 weeks, of Leeds, just like working on it and all this sort of stuff. But it does feel like it's that hectic at the minute that you almost need to pause for breath at points. And I just think that little bit of composure in certain aspects, certain parts, would just see Leeds in such better stead. Cheers, mate. Love your crack. Don't always agree, but at the end of the day, we all love Leeds. Yeah, football opinions are like. Nah, I was going to say it, but then I'll get the. I'll get people being a bit upset if I say that, but yeah, opinions are all different, aren't they? But as Marching On podcast says, bloody hell, Connor, Leeds don't do friendlies to the same as Elche game. I was wincing today with some of the tackles, both sides. Yeah, Rocker, blooming it, and even Ailing at the end there. It's a horrible tackle that from the Sociedad lad. No injuries was today though. Nonso great tonight, and Drama did okay. Yeah, as I say, I thought Drama did well. Nonso looked all right. But for me, once again, the standout's Pascal. I thought his strike was fantastic. And I think he's just getting better and better. He really is. And he's actually looking like a goal threat now, which is bizarre. So, yeah, really, really happy with his progress. I think you obviously miss Tyler Adams, and I think this is becoming a more and more obvious thing every time Leeds play without him. But I also do think that there is still an absolute cry for Leeds to go out and add quality in the January window. And I think tonight was a little bit indicative of that, because I think there are points where Leeds are in excellent positions, real good positions, but it's just that execution. And I think if we get that execution right 50% of the time, we'd be in much better stead. We'd be nowhere near the relegation zone. So I think it's all up to management really, in terms of what they can bring in the window. But I think it's absolutely key. Connor, when is Stuart Dallas back? I don't know, mate. I really don't, but yeah, I'm hoping we're able to maybe rectify that and go out and actually add some. I'm not saying Stuart wouldn't be welcome back, of course, but I really think he's in that bracket where Leeds are just in need of just elevating a little bit and actually getting players in who, we shouldn't be reliant on Ayling, we shouldn't be reliant on Forshaw and Dallas and the likes. For me, I think Leeds need to be really progressive. I've said this on multiple transfer videos as well, so I don't know. It's a long-winded answer there. But listen, I'm excited to see Leeds get back into it. We've got 3 massive games coming up in terms of Man City, Newcastle, and West Ham. We've got to pick up points. Marsh is under pressure. I don't like saying it, but he is under a little bit of pressure, unfortunately. But listen, the whole team's under pressure. It's not just Jesse Marsh, so we need to pick up those points. But differences I saw today, I didn't see anything really different. Leeds were playing the same sort of way. I thought the first goal we conceded was extremely poor. A good ball in. Tony Dorigo on commentary was acting as though it was sort of a Zinedine Zidane-esque ball in where none of the defenders could have done anything about it. The marking was a bit lacklustre. Leeds seemed about 2 yards away from their own play, well, the plays that they were marking, and it wasn't a good goal to concede. But I thought, we got back into it quite well, some nice passing sequences, and as I say, Pascal Strauch's finish was exceptional, a real top draw finish, which if he'd done that in the Premier League, would have all been saying, wow, that's one of the goals of the week or goals of the month or whatever. And then the last goal was a little bit of a breakdown in play, wasn't it? Gelhardt sort of passed it on, the defender muddled it up, and Rodrigo scuffed it into the back of the net. But let's take absolutely no credit away from Rodrigo at all. He's there again, which is fantastic. Let's keep it up, Rodrigo. Let's see what we can do throughout the remainder of the season. What's he got, like 9 goals in 13? Listen, if he can continue that, then a lot of us will be eating humble pie. And I just think maybe he needs to bring a little bit more to the team in terms of just that link-up play, as I always say. I think there is a bit of a breakdown between the midfield and Rodrigo quite frequently in play. But, his returns at the minute are very good. And obviously, you're not adding this one to his stats because it's a friendly. But I thought he was good today. I thought he was good, very willing as well, running into the channels and really committed to the cause today, which I think a lot of teams might, in a friendly game, they might just take the 50 or 60 minutes they're playing and just have it off, and they're not really that engaged with it. But I thought both teams tonight were very engaged, very pressing and very up for it. And as I said at the start, against the Real Sociedad team, who are currently in 3rd position in La Liga, that's a real win for Leeds. So, and when I say real win, it's a good victory for the side. So let's hope we can build on that, and let's hope 2 wins in 2. Hopefully you're turning around now and saying that's instilled a little bit of confidence where it was battered beforehand. in terms of taking the lead 3 times against Tottenham Hotspur. We've actually been able to, regain a little bit of confidence in that respect, which is good. So Alex in the building with a super chat. Thank you so much, such a mate. What's up, Joe? I have to agree and argue that quality behind Adams is non-existent and most important compared. I don't know who Joe is. Who's Joe? Who's Joe? I don't know. Are you thinking that I'm Joe Wayman? Oh, it's Joe in the chat. I don't know. I'm so confused. But thanks for your chat anyway, mate. And big up Joe if he's in the chat. His comments are flying in. Yeah, not Joe, I meant Connor. Yeah, sorry, mate. I'm very confused. I've had a long day as well. I've had a long day. Work night out last night. Not good. So this is a big one. So in terms of the performance, though, as I've just said to you guys multiple times, I think it's something to build on. Of course, I do. I think it's a positive. I think the style of play is never going to change. I don't see any evolution with what Jesse Marsch is doing with this side as well. In terms of that's not a negative. Some may deem it as a negative. I may look at it as a negative, but it's not just. I'm not just slamming Jesse Marsch for this. But I don't think there's ever going to be an adaptation in terms of how we play. It's very narrow. We play this high line, and I think our pace at the back will continuously be exposed. And I think there was a couple of moments in the second half where Sociedad were offside, and I think you maybe get an intelligent striker in the Premier League who are able to play that line a little bit better, and Leeds could be in a little bit of trouble, and I think we've seen that in the Premier League so far. So it's just the basics that Leeds need to get a little bit better at in terms of defending set pieces, which I think we've got a little bit weaker on, attacking set pieces, which at the start of the season we were very, very good at. And if we start to do these basics and ironing out those individual errors, then you can almost allow some of the strategic deficiencies in our game, because I think we'll be able to, if we just literally just get rid of some of these unforced errors, I think Leeds will be in such a better space right now. And we take some of our big chances, and as I say, the structure of the team, it'll allow for a little bit of leverage on that front. So yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see how Leeds go about this January window. It's going to be fascinating to see how Leeds are able to go through these next 3 games. I saw something on Twitter the other night saying Jesse has to get 4 points out of West Ham, Newcastle and Man City. I think that's a tall order. It's going to be extremely difficult for Leeds to do that. However, that is something that we need now. We need points. We need points on the board quickly, because as I've said in multiple videos, we don't want to be going into January in that bottom 3, and I think we're going to be teetering because they're not easy games. Captain Coops versus Haaland. Yeah, as you guys know, I work quite closely with the Man City news side of things. That is my job, and he was in training today, and they were putting pictures online of him in training, and publications were getting posted of Haaland in training, and I'm thinking, oh god. But who knows? It could be one of those things. He's a Leeds fan, isn't he? He could take it easy on us. Who knows? Connor, the Spaniards wouldn't have been up for the cold. Perfect conditions to play to them. Yeah, exactly, Michael. You're probably right. Joe's just sent everyone over, pal. Oh, fair enough. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, nice one. Shout out to Joe and everyone who's come over. Connor, how many points do you think we will get against City 2 and Hammers? Oh, Lewis, I don't want to do that. I don't want to say that, mate, because I'm trying to come on and 2 wins out of 2 in the friendlies, and I'm trying to do this thing where it's it's okay, it's fine, blissful ignorance. We don't care, it's fine, everything's fine. We will not get relegated. Everything is going to be fine. I'm in that mode now, and I think this World Cup period has got me into this Zen moment. I think I'm Zen now, but I will be back into normal Connor very, very soon. I presume that this will happen. But if I'm actually predicting them, I think it's going to be a real tough run for Leeds. I'm more looking at I've sort of resigned myself to the fact that Leeds may be in the relegation zone in January, and when I'm smiling and laughing here, this is crippling behind the face. However, I do think Leeds will get out of it. I just think we'll be in a battle. I just think these next 3 games are going to be really, really difficult. I just think they're going to be really, really difficult. And you just look at the teams below us, and they've got favourable fixtures in comparison to what Leeds have in the next 3, really. So I think it's just going to be a little bit difficult for us. However, I don't think, I don't think we'll go down, and on a more broader point of view. But I think these next 3 are going to be extremely difficult. I really do. I mean, Man City, come on now. Man City, although those players will have played, a little bit more recently than Leeds when it comes to World Cup campaigns. Obviously, Alvarez is going to be playing on Sunday, isn't he, for Man City, and he's gets regular minutes for Man City. But I just think even Man City's second or third team would be still top 3 in the Premier League. So I think this is what you're facing, really. Newcastle, I just think they're doing extremely well at the minute. Again, top 3 of the Premier League. They don't seem to be slowing down. But I guess you never know what happens. Teams might start after the break a lot slower, and these are things that everybody needs to consider. There's going to be factors which come into play. Injuries, there could be, West Ham could have picked up injuries, Newcastle could have picked up injuries. Probably the games where realistically we're more likely to pick up wins or draws in. And as I say, some teams are going to be slower to get going. It's like we're starting the season again. So if Leeds, as we always have been, really, this season's been a little bit different, but especially under Bielsa, because it's the same cohort of players, really, when you look at it in terms of the general makeup. We always start the season fast. So hopefully if we're able to start this sort of season again, like we are kind of doing against Man City, if we're able to start quickly, then who knows? Who knows? Maybe we could pull up 2 or 3 surprises. Who knows? Michael says 20k attendance for a home friend in the freezing cold. Yeah, mate, I don't know what they're absolute nutters, Leeds fans, but I love it. Alex says everyone needs to relax. It's going to be an up and down season as predicted. Still major needs that need to be addressed. Yeah, and hopefully, they've got to be seeing it. Any news on Gakpo? He's I don't want to say where. I've been told he's pretty much not signed, sealed, and delivered, but he's it's pretty likely he could be going to a certain side that we all hate, from what I've been told. So yeah, who knows? A up from Adelaide in Australia. It says Michael Young, hi mate, hope you're all right. Gakpo isn't coming to Leeds. Why would he come to a relegation battle? And that's the thing, Sam. It's just realistic expectations, mate. And I've said it in all my transfer videos. Make sure you guys are sticking around for the transfer videos as well. They're going to be coming thick and fast, as well as your match day content, which is going to start coming out as well. But we need more realistic targets, I think. And we don't want to be going up against the big boys all the time. Looks like Chelsea potentially are now going to be coming in for Matheus Cunha, obviously with the injury to Armando Broja. So, it just seems like maybe we need to be looking at a different bracket of player, because I think us continuing to look at these incredible prospects, whilst it looks great on Leeds and whilst it looks very good in our scouting network, is it realistic? And is there any point in wasted energy and wasted time? Because time is a commodity you cannot get back. Deep there. Ian says Connor is a legend. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that one. Sponsored by Patagonia today as well, apparently. I didn't even realise. I've just got on camera and realised that. I don't have jeans on that Patagonia or anything like that. Don't worry. I've just realised that there's a bit of a mix and match going on here. How are you, mate? I'm all right, Matt. It's cold though, bud. It's really cold. Really, really cold, isn't it? I don't know where it is where you guys are, but it's like -5 here. -6 it might be. I'm even talking and my lips are getting chapped. Normally it's the back of my throat because I just talk, but it's just my lips here. God, it's grim. Like, I like crisp days. I do. I like crisp days. Crisp winter days, but this is just ridiculous. But I hope as well you're all safe, and because obviously all the electricity bills at the minute are just through the roof, and I know there'll be a lot of people struggling to pay for those, as we all are. But yeah, just invest in it. An electric blanket's a good one, a really good one. I don't know why I'm talking about this, but yeah, it's worthwhile. I just care about you guys. All right. Okay, Connor is commando. Yeah, definitely. Michael says, we're not in a relegation battle this summer. We're not in a relegation battle in the summer. That's when all the signings we needed should have been done. I agree, mate. Sam says we need a new striker and a midfielder. Can't disagree. I mean, I'd said someone's someone's asked me like what I'd want, and it'd be like I'd have like I'd bring 4 in, you know. But realistically, then they wouldn't do that. Obviously, you'd be looking at a left back, you'd be looking at a striker, you'd be looking at a central defensive midfielder. So we don't have this problem that we're having now, and a centre back with pace. That's what you'd be looking at ideally, but that's not going to happen. What I don't want them to start doing, and I saw a tweet today, and a guy was saying, he went, "Is this cynical of me?" and I thought, this guy's on the same wavelength as me, and he said, Marsh is turning around and all of a sudden saying Forshaw's fit and ready to go. He's talking about us having excellent youngsters coming through, and he's now saying that he wholeheartedly believes in the group that he has now and this group going forward. I'm like, Jesse, let's not get into this rhetoric going into January, mate, because I don't want to be seeing Adam Forshaw starting when Tyler Adams can't play. I also don't want us to bring in nobody and just to start putting the kids in. We need to bring players in. I don't want to see George Hall from Birmingham, who's 18 years of age, and that it. We need bodies. And I'm hoping, guys, I don't believe it. I do not, but they will sign players. They will. They have to. They're businessmen. They have to sign players. Oh, God. Let's hope so, eh? Toby says, if you had to choose Connor between a midfield, left back or striker, which would you take? Because the likelihood is knowing our board, we'll get one of them at a push. I think that's a smart comment because I think it's realistic. Striker. Yeah, strikers are going to keep us up, mate. And I think Rodrigo, as good as he is at the minute, I think there's going to be time. I mean, he's 31 going on 32. There's going to be points where he needs help, and I'm just looking at Joe Gelhardt, and I'm like, is Joffrey ready at the minute? And it just seems like he's the trajectory. You know that. Well, there was an upward trajectory of Joffrey, and I'm not saying that's not there anymore, but it seems to have plateaued a little bit, and that's probably down to minutes. But when he's coming on, he's maybe not having that impact he once was having. I mean, Marsh is not giving him that many minutes, to be fair, but I think Joffrey needs someone alongside him. That's how I've always looked at Joffrey, almost like a little enlarged, like Viduka and Smith were. So, yeah, for me, you have to go out and help Rodrigo. Bamford's just never going to be the answer for me. He's a walking sick note now, or a not walking sick note. So I'd go out and get a striker. A striker will keep Leeds up. If we can get a striker and he can bag 8 goals towards the back end of the season, you can get the midfielders chipping in as well. That's what we need, really. So that would be that. However, I do believe that the fullbacks are so close. The fullbacks are so close because the fullbacks are massive in this system. They're huge in this system. You saw tonight, they'll be playing that high line. They won't get any help from the wingers in marking the men like they used to do. Well, their opposing players coming towards them. Like when we were obviously under Bielsa, they used to double up, didn't they? The wingers and the fullbacks would double up. That doesn't happen anymore. So the onus is massively on the fullback. They have to be very, very well versed in both areas. So yeah, striker for me, mate. I'd say midfield is the most area we need. Yeah, fair enough. Rob Naylor says, "Hi Connor, hi mate. Do you think the JK payment will affect the budget in January?" Baron Cross thinks it won't affect it too severely when I spoke to him on a live stream. Well, that's what we're told, Rob. That's what we're told by Angus. Ellipsis. That's what we're told, mate. Connor, how's Manchester, mate? Yeah, it's all right, Sam. Cold, and it's got a bit of a pong round here, I can't lie, but I'm nowhere near the dark side, don't worry. I'm about 40 miles away. On purpose. Thoughts on Aronson today? It says that Jordan, I think he picks up pockets of space really, really nice. He gets himself into great areas. And I've had this chat with a couple of buddies who are stateside. I think his ball efficiency is quite poor. I think he's very nippy. I think he's very energetic. He's clearly got a lot of attributes that fit the system. But I think when he's on the ball, picking the right pass at this moment in time is the problem for Brendan. In my opinion, when I'm watching him, I think a lot of the time he'll pick the wrong pass, or maybe do too much, maybe take a touch extra, which we all ask for composure, but it's got to be composure in the right areas, I think. And I think just sometimes his passing efficiency and accuracy isn't at the level that I think it should be. And I think you consistently see that with Aronson, really. However, what he brings to the team massively for me outweighs that deficiency that he's got. He just needs to develop that over time. But yeah, I think today was it was another very Brendan Aronson performance. A lot of energy, a lot of picking up great areas. But I think sometimes, apart from the pass to Willie Gnonto, which I thought was a good ball, I just think sometimes it's maybe a touch extra or the pass breaks down. But they're all a little bit like that, because we're not a possession based team. Whatever Jesse says, we're not a possession based team. So when you get the ball, it's going to be a little bit lackluster. It's about getting the ball, and you'll have all seen it today. It's about hitting the channels. It's about hitting the ball over the top. It's about quickly doing that. It's doing it centrally, and we do that every time. You'll see Sociedad getting a feel of the ball. They're clearly better on the ball than Leeds United, but Leeds are all about getting the ball, maybe passing it around the back for a little bit, manipulating a little bit of space there, but regularly it's just hitting the ball over and really trying to hit that front man and the space in and behind, and utilising that press to suffocate the opposition. That's it, really. So I think on the ball it's always going to be difficult for players to develop. Joffy should go out on loan. Yeah, which is weird, because I don't think any of us would have said that not long ago. Andy, I can't remember what that was about, mate. Amrabat, what a player! Does everyone remember when he was a winger? Amrabat, flipping heck, what a player for Morocco in the middle there. It's okay, Connor. Remember, Angus said year 3 is the big investment year, and this is year 3. We spent flat in the summer, so I'm expecting big things, Jan, because he's going to keep his promise on. I guess it all just circles as well around the notion of JKA, and if that money is going to impact Leeds, because it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, and we've not been taken over yet, have we? So yeah, thought we were very direct tonight, says Toby. Yeah, I think we were very direct, and that would make sense against Man City. I think the thing is nowadays, though, Toby, in football, when you have such an athletic, I feel like the big teams are there's so much athleticism in their side. So it's like Ruben Diaz, who can start for City at the back. It's like Ruben Diaz, Ake, John Stones, Rodri. So you got players like that, and the direct route one ball over the top, that like any of those defenders, like in a 90-minute game just up against Rodrigo, who's not that domineering in the air. You feel on paper it's going to be quite an easy game for them. However, football isn't always, it's not played on paper, is it? So, yeah, I'd hope there was a little bit more of a game plan from Jesse Marsch instead of just, I don't know, direct hoofball, but who knows? Let's hope so. Right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to rattle on too much, because it was supposed to be a bit of a match reaction, this. So it's great to have you all back. Listen, it's been a bit of a hiatus, hasn't it, away from Leeds United, but we're back tonight. We're going to be back with more Leeds United content. We've got Generation Leeds over on the Patreon tomorrow. We're going to get the debrief back as well, ASAP, next week. It's going to be great to link up with Brownie again. We'll have another guest on there as well, hopefully, getting you guys involved as well, 100%. So we're going to have full throttle Leeds United. The rumour mill is back as well, trying to bring you the latest news on Leeds United every single day. We will try our best on that one. But guys, make sure you like before you leave. It's free. Make sure you subscribe, and make sure you leave a comment in the section below. The best comment I will pin, so make sure you do it. Guys, have a good one, and I'll see you in a bit.